Hi everybody. This is the seventh episode of Dhan Ki Baat, and we have Mr. Samir Arora with us. Thank you, Samir, for being on this episode.
Hello,
So
Ji.
basically, it can't be a better timing for this episode because started with, in fact, this weekend only, just before this weekend, RBI came up with their policy for gathering deposits, fresh deposits from the NRIs. So, and you have very defined views on this one. You're very clear that we create some $50 billion from this new scheme they're coming out with. Can you just explain how? Because you're the first one to give us this figure. The government
So
of
the
India
good
came
thing
up much
is,
later.
the good thing is that now at least the press, everybody says, yeah, 40, 50, even 75 billion. There, I think they also included money that you can raise from these bond investors and maybe corporates raising money. Corporates means, I think, PSUs where RBI is offering swap at zero. So let me explain how I got. First of all, it is a good scheme. It is a good scheme because it has already been used before and it worked last time also, which was in 2013. Basically, the idea is that currently there is not a big spread between interest rates in US or in dollars and interest rates in India. So the arbitrage is quite less. So it looks big picture that how does it matter? Because even internationally rates are 3, 4%, 4%, and currently banks are offering NRI
The
bond,
NR,
FCNR, foreign currency
FCNR B,
non-resident deposit, sorry, at 3.5, 4%. So where is the arbitrage? So the arbitrage is that the FCNR deposits rate is about 3.5% because the Indian banks who take that deposit have to hedge the rupee because they are taking dollar, converting to rupee,
right,
but 3 years later or 5 years later, they have to return dollars.
right,
So if in between there is depreciation of the rupee, they have borrowed 100, forget about the interest that they have to pay after 3 years or every year. They'll have to pay back in dollar. Maybe by that time, dollar is 110, whatever. So there was no arbitrage. So RBI has now said, and that is the policy. Rest was always there. You can always raise FCNR money. That we are underwriting the swap. So for the banks it is zero. That means
right.
you raise money at 100. Suppose, thank God it's not 100, but 95 point whatever, 95.7. 3 years later, when money has to be returned, we will give you dollars at 95.7. I guess for the principal plus the interest that you'll have to
Right,
pay.
right.
So then what 2.5, 3% you have saved, which would be the cost of the soap. So now what happens? In India, the
So
deposit rates were
the difference of that day between the rupee and the borrowing rate will be borne by RBI, right? So NRI doesn't have any
no,
impact.
no. NRI is giving dollar, getting back dollar.
Very
It's a
dollar.
dollar deposit, it's not a rupee
Right, right,
deposit.
right, right, right,
And bank will only do it if the swap is free
right,
because this costs 3%. So
right.
now who will lose? So RBI will lose a little, but not a lot. So RBI, suppose they get $50 billion. This swap ki market price is 3%.
Right.
So the
So,
RBI is giving you something which is worth 3% at zero to
okay.
enable this trade.
Right,
So
right,
RBI not loses but is out of pocket 1.5 billion. So how will they get that 1.5 billion back? A, the currency will be stronger. There will be less panic. There will be less of spiraling. And if the currency overall, from whatever it was, it would have been otherwise, over time strengthened by 1%.
mm,
You will save so much on imports. You will save on imports of oil. You are importing 200 billion of oil. You may save 2 billion just on that one trade. Plus, more than that, that is the policy that you need a stronger dollar, not the what their advisors are saying that if it goes to 100, it's obvious that the government doesn't want. So
right.
that is the positive. Now, for the banks, today they were offering FCNR at 3.5% and Indian rupee deposit at say 6.5%.
Right.
So they can offer to the NRI also 6.5% because now for them dollar hai ki rupiah doesn't matter
Doesn't
because
matter.
that conversion is RBI. So if they offer 6%, everything changes.
Right.
Because an NRI, if it were to deposit money here, you'll get you'll get 4% for that 3 year type. And now you'll get 6. Now what is the big deal in 2%? $100 billion.
Okay.
How? So the NRIs will put their own money and they will get 6% instead of getting 4. Now that is not such an attractive deal that NRIs will put bloody 50 billion on this. Oh, I'm making 2% more. That's not the fun. The fun is that because these are deposits and not bonds, so the deposit ki price doesn't vary.
Right.
So the foreign banks and the Indian banks will raise money on their own account at 4% and give it to the NRI at 5%
Right.
or 5.25% and say, now go and do an NRI deposit at 6 or 6.25 or maybe even
Right.
6.5%.
Right.
So 1.5% आपको borrowing में you will get a spread. So if you do 9x borrowing, that means you put 1, you borrow 9, and you give 10 to the bank saying, here is my FCNR deposit.
Mm-hmm.
The NRI can make around say 15%. In fact, last time in 2013, banks were offering and NRIs were doing 19 times borrowing. That means you put 5% of the money, take 19 times.
Right.
I did 9 times.
Acha.
I made very small, 17, 18% return in dollars, so it's not bad. So I'm hoping that there'll be many NRIs and large guys. So during this period, the scale of the economy has gone up, NRI money has gone up, many Indian promoters have become NRI, so they must be having massive pools of money outside, lever that 9 times. So to raise 50 billion, all NRIs together have to put up 5 billion.
5 billion.
उसमें
Right.
वो इतने बड़े बड़े NRIs हैं, they can put 100 million. And there is no real risk. And other than what the RBI took that hit, you can say, but it's not a hit, it's a macro,
Yeah,
government
yeah,
have
yeah.
to. Everybody gains. The bank gains because they get big deposits. They'll get $50 billion of deposits. The rate will be lower. They won't give the same rate because they know it's a slightly hot product. तो वो 25-50 पैसे they will save. So they will get these big deposits. So there'll be liquidity easing. The currency would strengthen because now the reserves will be, when these guys convert, some 50, 60 billion more than what was there before this happens. NRI will be putting his money and putting faith in India. And there'll be one bet, small bet, which is not a bet at all, that after 3 years, India will not stop this money from being returned. Otherwise, the NRIs will go bankrupt. He can't return the money to the foreign lender. But other than that, it's okay. So
So
you'll
just
get
to
40, 50 billion for this, I think, based on the fact that that time you got 26 billion or something. So, and secondly, there are other things like even PSUs can do it. Even there, RBI will
right,
write the
right,
so then you are saying that we have removed tax on interest when you're buying a government security. You're removing capital gains when you're buying government security. So that will allow support. That one I'm not. I'm only reading. That will allow that Indian bonds to come into the some
index.
bond index of
Yeah.
Bloomberg or somebody else. And then if it is in an index, then you will get 20, 30 billion from that because Mota Mati, whatever is the size of that pool. That I am not directly, I don't feel it, so I don't know, but mostly it is right. So then over time you get 60, 80 billion and you've not paid extra cost for it that way. It's okay. This is just,
So just to understand something, the arbitrage for interest. So if you levered 9x, your first one that you put in yourself, you'll earn
you'll get,
6%.
say, let's say 6%.
Yeah,
Six.
suppose
Let's
6%.
say.
And on the
Uh,
rest nine, you'll get 1% spread, one each.
because you'll
Every
borrow at
one level.
5, you'll
Yes.
borrow at 5 and give it at 6, whatever be that.
Yeah.
तो
So
आपके
basically,
9%
effectively,
वहां बन गए
yeah,
और
9
6
there and
15%
6
में
here.
हमारे जैसे गरीबों का ठीक हो जाएगा. All for what our motherland needs right now. Yes.
Yeah, I know, I guess so. But anyway, okay, that was lovely. So basically, this 50 billion is not the bond flows also. I mean, exclude the bond flows. That'll be over
Yeah,
and
yeah,
above
yeah.
this.
This is NRI deposits, which NRIs don't have 50 billion to give.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I know. That's
5
certainly
billion plus
right.
45 billion.
Right,
That's why leverage is part of the story to get this much money.
right. And so basically, this capital gains that you talked about, I mean, that has been taken away for at least the government securities. You expect that to be put across for equities also to attract more FI flows?
I
No?
keep talking about it, but I don't expect it now because अब वो कहेंगे कि we have done this, and if this works, which I am thinking
Yes.
it works, then they will say, okay, enough. Unless there's some other crisis. The loss on not doing equity tax removal for foreign investors is that you will get less money than you would have got. There's no way anybody can argue with that. But since nobody knows how much you would get, so what is 20% less of whatever you would, nobody knows. So
Right.
you will lose, but relative to an unknown number. So it's not easy for somebody to be convinced, but it's very logical that you lose simply because, let's say there are 10 competing countries.
Right.
And forget about Korea going up, whatever, 200%, but normally Korea goes up, say, 12%. The range is very close, narrow.
Mm.
Means somebody will go up 13, 14% history के हिसाब से, somebody will go up 12, we will grow 11, or after dollar, say 12, whatever. Now you say all the other countries have no tax,
Right.
but India has a 20% tax or a 15% average tax. So हमारा 10 will become, हमारा 11 will become 9.5. So
Mm-hmm.
our relative rank moves, na? Because it's not
Right.
so now people say कि why in bull market, why you got money before? Arre, it was a bull market. You're making 20% and others making 10, okay, and 20, and we'll give you 3% as tax. But normally the difference, if you want that bull run and you give that bull run to India, people will pay tax and not bother. But anytime that these things become narrow,
Yeah, you have to
then
give
they will
something.
remember. So big picture,
Yeah.
you lose. But I'm saying right now we are not expecting. I am not expecting. If it happens, वो तो next round और अच्छा हो जाएगा. But this is okay for now, since we are operating with the delta, which is the change.
Right.
The change should be that currency does not weaken as much. Also, the fact that other markets are correcting will highlight to the public, public means foreign public, कि बेटा ये one way trade नहीं है that I'll buy Korea every day and short
And every
India.
day, yeah.
In 2 days, at least for the last buyer, you would have lost 15% in Korea versus India. So वो हल्के हल्के you will do little bit. And it should not be an obvious trade that every day we are supposed to sell India, and that little bit would have reduced.
That brings me to the next question. Some global markets. Uh, we were non-AI place. I mean, we've always suffered because of that. But now with AI, not AI, rather semiconductors losing their flavor, Korea, Taiwan are coming off. You think how will it play out for the world and
So
us?
first thing is, it's not that we were suffering for non-AI. All the stocks of the world which were non-AI were suffering for being non-AI, which means only AI stocks were going up. So I read some report that पता नहीं कितना up, I think S&P is up 11% or something. If
Okay.
you remove the AI related stocks, I don't know, whatever they call, it is up 2%. Okay, तो वो सारा AI है. So I have been saying, I was in US now when I was there 3 weeks हो गया, तो 4 weeks. So my logic to them was, you are also not putting 100% of your money in AI,
Hmm.
in your US funds, in your
Right.
Asian fund.
Right.
So why are you expecting if we should be AI? You treat us like a non-AI investment. You are anyway in your
Into it.
100,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe 40, 50 is AI, and the other 50 is non-AI. उसमें our positioning is good.
Right.
So the thing is, people think that we have to be the best investment in the world to get money. We can be the last investment of that 100 to get one. Say, global fund, we need 1%.
Right.
And 2%, we'll be so happy.
I know.
So if the guy says, I like AI, I say, okay, put in AI. How much do you want to put? 40, 50. Okay, put 50. Now you have 50 left. Now what do you like? I like US. Okay, put how much you want to put? Put. But उसके बाद दो रह गए, वो कभी ना कभी हमारा भी नंबर आ सकता है. So, so the point is, there is a world beyond AI. AI is the highest thing, but people are not putting 100% in AI because of different opinions. Some people feel कि AI is a bubble, तो वो तो कहा सकते हो. Some people like overdone.
Right.
Some people like diversification. Some
Right.
people like countries that are not doing well in terms of stock market. Some people like India because they like India because they may be Indians. Who knows? So ये नहीं होता कि everything is an all or none. We just don't have to be in the none. We can be in the little bit wala, the gray area. So that is where it is. Otherwise, of course, AI is was the trade as of now. Yes.
And basically, like you were saying the last time also, that it's more of a fancy for semiconductor companies which is going away rather than AI. AI will still
No, no, no,
continue
no.
to.
I think the thing is that AI investments, so all these guys have committed here, all these Google and Meta
Right,
and Amazon,
right,
but 200 billion, 180 billion, and even following year more. And you can see how much more they want to do because they have started raising equity money.
right,
But if you
right,
see, look at the Indian mutual funds that have been allowed to invest internationally. What is their stocks? They are these stocks, and these stocks are doing miserably. They are AI related stocks, but they are doing miserably. If you see all these PMS guys who've done funds from Gift City, I mean, their performance is worse than what India's performance is. The performance is if you had a Korea fund or a Taiwan fund or a DRAM fund or a semiconductor, उनके पैसे बने. Not a single other guy has made any extra money. So, and even in tech, if you had these large guys, nobody, if you had Microsoft or Meta, nothing you made. But you've lost money. So, according to me, and you could have made money, but Indians have not made if you own Anthropics or something,
right,
or you own some of these. So, इसलिए actually practically money has been made by these memory guys, these cable guys, or Dell computer because it is selling servers, hardware, things that normally you would not look at because bloody 2% मार्जिन वाला कोई कंप्यूटर असेंबल कर रहा है या सर्वर असेंबल कर रहा है या कोई वायर बना रहा है कोई ट्रांसफॉर्मर बना रहा है दीज आर वर नॉट बट इफ यू सी रियल एआई which means the hyperscalers all doing badly and so the correction in recent 2 3 days have been on the DRAM type guys.
right,
I
right,
mean memory type guys. uh, अब उसमें क्या है कि anyway their sales are totally booked and they will be booked for many years because even if they build new capacity, it'll take a few years. But there has been a price increase in their commodity, not commodity, people will get upset, but actually it's a
right.
commodity, but
No,
in
it's a
their
commodity.
product. Okay, but it's actually a
Yeah,
commodity only. Other than Nvidia types, they're all commodities, but big investments are required to make that commodity. But chalo, forget, don't call it commodity. So their prices have gone up. But suppose you are totally booked. Should the price of the memory chip go up 50% or 70%? Nobody knows. So maybe there's doubt on that. कि भाई, because next
how
year
much can you?
some new capacity is coming up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
तो
yeah.
अभी तुम 70 ले रहे हो तो अगले साल I will not take from you, otherwise you give me 55 or
Yeah,
45 and I will sign a 3 year contract. Who
right,
knows?
right.
Or, and the second one is your growth has come from price appreciation of your product.
Product.
So should I give 8 multiple के बदले 9 multiple because you yourself have increased the prices by 50%, or should I give a lower multiple because the earning growth is very high,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it is more
And cost.
unsustainable than it
Yeah,
was 30
right,
days ago.
right,
So
right, right.
वो करेक्शन हो रही है उसमें क्या पता किसी को.
Yes, sir. So anyway,
But
so that.
our global fund is out of semiconductor ETF
Right.
and Far East ex Japan ETF.
Okay, okay. You
Thank
sold
you
that
very
on
much.
Friday in the morning
So I
itself.
sold on Friday, but I did not sell in
US,
US
UK time.
because our ETFs are non-US. Because if you have US ETF, the offshore guys are it's a waste. So all the guys and anybody who's buying should buy UCITS, which are Ireland, this thing, and domiciled or something in London listed. So anyway, it got sold before US opened, but after Korea had fallen 5%,
Okay.
and previous day Broadcom had fallen
Not
some 10
following.
15%. So they were also down, but they were down 2 3%. Today they'll be down more because they have to reflect the what happened in the US
US.
after London closed.
Right, 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 right. Right. So Samir, about India. There are a lot of questions on the valuations, growth rates not there. So what's your view on this one?
India is good. Let me show you some presentation. Okay, Ji. So your question is on valuation. So see here, this is from Bloomberg,
Right,
and this is showing the PE range in which India has traded. So this band went up a lot after COVID.
right.
Okay.
Okay,
But now we are at levels which have been, if you take the whole range,
Hmm.
It's not that last 5 year range. Mein.
Yeah, we back
It
to
is over
the
the last
pre.
whatever 8, 10, 12, 15 years. So it is in the lower range. Now
Right.
you will say, but still, this might be India's lowest, matlab in its historical average, it might be low. But Korea is at 7p, and पता नहीं कौन सा Taiwan is at 12, 14p. So we are at 19, 20p. So how does it matter that we might be low compared to our history? But we are not low for an FII who likes cheaper market. So पहली बात तो ये है कि what happened? Suddenly, how did he get this enlightenment in 24
Right.
that he should not like our high P? We were always high P. So ये story नहीं है, but let's show it further. So if you see, and that valuation is not the issue why FIs. We might have sold for other reasons, but not valuation. So this is from ICICI Securities report,
Hmm.
dated very recently, like less than a month ago. So what these guys have done is they took the March 22 foreign stake in these top 10 companies in which the foreigners have stake, and then in March 26. And so in these 10 companies, including HDFC, which is now combined, but previously there were two, 40% of the foreigners' money was only in these companies.
Right.
And now there's
Top
only
10.
20 odd percent in these companies. So Mota Mati foreigners had about $1 trillion in India. Now they say, now we have 800 billion.
Right.
Our market has fallen 15% in dollar terms in over say 2 3 years. Because 22 में तो बड़ी थी, 23 में बड़ी थी. So plus minus is ना. And if I do cumulative, they have taken out 50 60 billion dollars in the last in this period. 60
Right.
ले मोटा मोटी. So उस वक्त ट्रिलियन था, 100 ऑड मार्केट कैप में उड़ गया, 140 50 मार्केट कैप में उड़ गया, एंड 50 60 रिडीम हो गया. तो अब 800 है ना, सब कहते हैं 800 ट्रिलियन बिलियन इज द
Hmm.
करेक्ट.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
So that means they sold during this period, depending on how you exactly calculate, because उस वक्त what was the price, what was the price? They have sold mota mati 175, 200 type billion of only these stocks.
Right. The top 10.
हाँ. But they have taken out only $60 billion from India. That means 120 पता नहीं कितने 130 वो उसी में reinvest हो गए.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
And that you can see, this is again from the same report, that during the same 4 years, number of stocks where FIIs own more than 1% of the company have increased from 900 to 1300. That means they sold from the top 10 200, they took out 60, 140 बाकियों को बांट दिया, IPOs में दे दिया, नए लोगों को दे दिया. So ये valuation है कि नहीं, that is the question.
Right.
So we broadly know that these top 10 companies are trading at like 5 year lows.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
I
Hmm.
have heard from some mutual funds in our country that these IT guys are very cheap. But FI नहीं देख रहा. I don't believe, but whatever. और आ जाते हो कहते हैं बैंक बड़े सस्ते हैं, वो which we also believe. But I'm saying everybody knows that these guys are trading at their 10 year lows or 8 year lows, whatever. But they are being sold. मैं FI की बात कर रहा हूँ, and I don't
Hmm.
care whether they are right or wrong, but it's not
Right.
valuation. So what have they bought? So this is again from the ICICI report only. Only this P I have put, but इसको छोड़े. So the three stocks where maximum amount of money either they have added or with appreciation their value has gone up. Number one is Eternal. So there they had 10% stake, now they have 30% stake. तो उसमें 20% बढ़ गया, which means now the market cap is 23 billion. So let us say कोई 5 बिलियन 4 बिलियन तो उनके इटर्नल में है, जो
उधर ही
उसमें
चले
से
गए, हाँ.
वो जो 100 odd बिलियन
बेचे थे वहां से.
उसी गए. फिर HDFC AMC में 10 का 24 हो गया, तो 14 ये चेंज हो गया, मतलब 24 को लो तो इतना अमाउंट हो गया जो भी पॉली कैप में हो गया. देन यहाँ पे जी वर्नोवा दे हैड जीरो स्टेक, नाउ दे हैव 20% स्टेक. तो वट एवर इज द मार्केट कैप ऐसे हो. अब आप इनके पी देखें current year from Bloomberg. This is my contribution, rest is ICICI Bank's contribution, but they did not put the clincher that I am interpreting it my way. That they sold all those Bondhu stocks in which we
Low
also
PE
own.
stocks.
We
Low
also own the
PE.
biggest Bondhu of them, HDFC Bank, जो पिछले पेज में था. But they bought Eternal, which by chance also we own, but 115p, HDFC MC 37p. So where does it look that they are
They are looking
interested in
for.
valuation? Yeah.
Right.
They are
Right. Right.
buying growth. They are selling slow growth, not low
Right.
valuation. And also they have enough of that. And maybe initially it was enough to own those 10, 20 stocks and feel that you own India. And now there are more and more IPOs and new age and all that. You know, तीन चार तो new age ही हैं, eternal new age. Even HDFC AMC is newer things, ना, these AMCs and all. Then 197. So they are buying new age. तो इसलिए वैल्यूएशन इशू नहीं है. इट इज अ जनरल सेलिंग बट नॉट अ बिग सेलिंग ऑल्सो. 60 billion or 70 billion भी ले लो, on a current ownership of 800 billion, they have sold less than 1% of their exposure to India. हमारे यहाँ जब mutual funds can sit on 15% cash, that guy cannot sell 1% and say, I'm sitting on cash. Although he's not sitting on cash, but FI is not allowed to say that,
Yeah.
can I sell 1%
In
and take it as if I'm sitting on cash? But our guys can sit on 15% and say, we are very smart. We know. So the point is nothing. It has nothing to do with valuation.
and what about growth, Samir? Do you think growth is coming back in
Growth is
the
coming back. तो यहाँ पे नजर आ रहा था ना आपको. तो if you see here, पहले तो this, if you see the right hand chart here, MSCI India, you can see the growth in sales, because sales is important
yeah,
first.
yeah, that's with the
So
first
the
one.
sales is also turning.
Yeah, yeah,
This
it's
is
picking
excluding
up.
financials. अब इसमें profit, which previously would have been, we would have thought for this year will be 14-15%, and अब वो हो सकता है because of oil price shock and prices and all, and कुछ companies के बड़े losses होंगे, like these oil refining companies, is that this number instead of being 14 will become 12 again, according to me.
Right.
Big
Okay.
picture. Profit, not revenue. Revenue though could be whatever. So you can say that, but otherwise not bad. And here you see the earnings growth for this last quarter in
Right.
mid cap stocks, small cap stocks, and the overall 500.
Okay.
So if you get 13-15% stock, you are very good for non-AI market. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying. Let them take 30-40% in AI related investment. Baki 60 may we have a good positioning, but that positioning was being spoiled because currency was also weakening. But one thing has to hold so that people can evaluate the other.
Right. Right.
Now
And
people
you can see the huge divergence.
just think,
Nifty
sorry.
50 grew at just 6% earnings, while
Huh?
mid cap and small cap grew at 28 and 41 respectively. It's a huge
Yeah.
divergence. Yeah.
Correct. So the 50 is not growing now.
Right.
So
Right.
if you say I want
So that is
only
what
the
is.
stocks which are large cap and all this story, then
Yeah.
that is why the difference in performance.
Right. So, I mean, you took up my next question actually, FI selling. I think you covered that in this one only in the market view or moral market view. Now, one thing which was very interesting from that selling slide that you showed us, uh, they sold quite heavily on IT, and our guys are buying IT, and there's a, by the way, we be negative IT. That's why I'm
So
asking you
don't say
that
our
question.
guys, yeah. They are not
Our
our
guys,
guys.
no, our guys, as in, the domestic mutual
We
funds have
refuse to
been
call them our guys.
lapping up IT when we've been negative IT from Feb of 25, even before that, but Feb 25 is when we turned zero on IT,
Very good.
2025. So, what's your view now, Samir? Because we get a lot of questions about valuations being so cheap. Why can't you look at IT again, and so on and so forth? Your views,
So
please.
we will look at IT when the IT companies say that we are seeing some green shoots. If you remember last week, first 2 days, the market IT guys went up a lot. And then they started falling from Wednesday. Because I think Wednesday evening, पता नहीं, Tuesday evening, one of these companies had a analyst day or analyst whatever meet, and they said that there can be a 25% reduction
Right,
in the current business ka pricing.
right.
Who can handle that? So then the answer is no. Indian company, sorry, IT companies are a bridge that when the uh, enterprise needs AI,
Yeah,
he will have to use us or somebody like us. So currently, already Anthropic and OpenAI have a run rate revenue of maybe 50 billion for Anthropic and 30 billion for OpenAI. So 70-80 billion is currently already the sales of these two companies, and उसमें maybe let's say 15-20% is individuals. तो
right,
corporates या enterprises का है में 80 का 80 तो $65 billion. And those companies, since Anthropic is wanting to do an IPO very soon, will most have to project, which we don't know, but these private equity guys who are buying at 900 billion must be seeing these numbers. If they say next year it is 65 billion, nobody will put any money. So most probably these guys will grow and say next year we are at 150 billion revenue.
Right.
Yeah, and sorry, 30 billion, but can't be much less than that in the beginning. Because the investments are so much, though the revenue better be at least somewhere there.
Right.
So,
Right.
आपका 100% there'll be growth in revenue. Which Indian company has said that they practice, forget about their old practice, their legacy practice, because that there is pressure, reduction in price, whatever. वो नए वाले में आपका 100% ग्रोथ, आप 100 न्यू में यू से वी ग्रो 20-30%, दैट फेलो इज ग्रोइंग 100%, वो कहाँ जा रहा है?
वही तो,
Those
वेरी
guys
वैलिड.
to do their IPO will have to say कि we will be पता नहीं 400 billion by this year and that year. वो कहाँ गया? हमारे वाले बंदे क्यों नहीं बोल रहे that we will be growing, don't worry, even for a small part. Only the current AI part will be growing 100%. Rest will be losing. People will believe. आप कहते हो here we will lose, there we'll get 20, 30, 40%. वो क्या मजा है बात का? Which as of currently weight is 2%, 3%, 5%, 7%. So when you have these new two companies have 2 trillion market cap, and normally market cap goes up 15%, 10% per annum, जो भी होता है. But when one company, and okay, these are going from unlisted to listed, but make it conceptual, that normally a company's market cap mostly comes from another guy's market cap. It does. So, what's his name? Prashant Nair was saying that value is neither created nor destroyed. It is only transferred, जैसे कह लो आप. Okay. So, for example, Apple grew to whatever trillions before on basis of what? They killed Nokia, BlackBerry. So they took Nokia's market cap, BlackBerry's market cap, Fujitsu was making laptops का market cap, Hewlett Packard का market cap, then पता नहीं और भी ले लो 4-5 बंदे, उन सबका market cap लिया, तब तुम्हारा market cap बना. आप लो Amazon, Amazon ने 6 रिटेलर का मार्केट कैप, वो अनऑर्गेनाइज का मार्केट कैप, स्मॉल बुक सेलर्स अक्रॉस यूएस का मार्केट कैप, तब जाके उनका मार्केट कैप बना. एचडीएफसी बैंक का मार्केट कैप कैसे 400 टाइम्स बढ़ गया, और पीएसयूज को मार मार के पीएसयूज मार्केट कैप. हाउ डिड Z
जी.
went up 100 times? Because Doordarshan theoretically, if it had been listed, it would have been Doordarshan market cap.
Right.
बोलेगा, get lost, I'll take that one. You can't just create random market cap. It has to be taken. There's a fight. And there's a normal growth also at 10%. So when you say कि Anthropic will grow to trillion, but we will also grow. And the customer who's using Anthropic will also grow. Sorry, does not happen in my book. Somebody's market cap has to be destroyed. Little bit is your own. Rest you are taking. How does Eternal's market cap? Eternal has taken market cap from the Kirana stores, from the small shops. Actually, it has taken Amazon India's market cap. It has taken Big Basket's market cap, which they were doing for selling on a one-day delivery. ऐसे सुना होता है काम. Zomato ने किसका लिया? Zomato has taken the restaurant market cap by taking commission. Something you have to take from, or they have taken the pizza fellows market cap, because now there's more. Nobody can do it just without that. So according to me, if you have these guys have 2 trillion, give them, I don't know, 200 billion of their own each. 800 billion दिखाओ किसको मारा है.
So basically, standard growth is allowed, but disproportionate.
Rest you have, you show कि who all have you killed,
Yeah, you have
and मोटा माटी it should be equated to same. ये नहीं कि broadly. कहो जी 32 billion from Infosys, 11 billion from this guy. वो उसके इसमें थे, तब जाकर तब ये इधर आ गया. फिर उसके सर्विस नाउ के इतने निकाल लिए, फिर ठीक है. Now everything is fair and square. This is my theory, but I think it works in practice. That if a
I'm
company
sure it
has got
does.
very big growth, if you can broadly see कि not to worry, ये उसमें से निकाला गया, then you say हाँ ठीक है, part of life.
Great, Samir.
Thank you.
As always, very interesting, and I hope our viewers also find it interesting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for spending your time.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.